How's it going, everybody? First video of the new year, and I hope everyone had a good start to it. Ever since I released my Valkyrie video breaking down the rework, I've had a few comments regarding the unreactable nature of the move. I did call it unreactable for everybody, but I've been met with a little skepticism from a few people. I wouldn't say people didn't believe me, but some felt that others were reacting to it. So it is time for a more detailed breakdown, because don't worry, it really is unreactable. Nothing changed since then. There hasn't been any revelation or new developments since the initial video. Now let's define what reactable for bashes means. In Shield Tackle's case, the person needed to be able to dodge when they see the orange unblockable symbol. We know that the move is a 400 ms bash. With the hidden indicator that was introduced back with the CCU, all indicators are hidden for the first 100 ms of the animation. This already shaves it down to 300 ms. To avoid it, it requires a dodge which has iframes kick in at 166 ms of the dodge. Furthermore, Shield Tackle, like many other bashes, have a fading in indicator. This is not 100% consistent, partly because of the recording itself, but it's always at least one frame, so we take off another 33 ms. At this point, we are looking at roughly 100 ms single stim reaction to orange. Now we take the best possible setup and adjust for input delay, or button to pixel delay, whatever you want to call it, because simply seeing the indicator is not enough, as every console player can attest to. Let's take away roughly 20 ms here. This is probably as low as you can get this value. So now we have a required reaction time of 80 ms upon seeing orange. And this is not humanly possible. Unconscious reflex type of reactions are that sort of speed, and only because the signal doesn't have to go via the brain. And as much as we'd like to call our opponents brainless, nobody will dodge Shield Tackle that way. What could be the reason then that people assume they are being dodged on reaction? Well, the answer is probably quite simple. People dodge on movement. A Valkyrie sitting in the full block stance is completely still. She's not moving at all. So every tiny bit of movement is used to trigger a reaction, in this case a dodge. This clip here is from Beam. If you've faced him in duels, you know he has top tier reactions. As you can see, he's able to dodge it successfully on movement. The movement portion adds roughly 100 ms to the reaction time that is needed to dodge it, so a single stim of around 180. But you need to consider that you are not reacting to a color change or a big exaggerated animation. It's a small movement. I don't think anybody did actual scientific experiments to differentiate the reaction time depending on what sort of movement is being reacted to. They pretty much all use colors as a form of stimuli. But not to go on a tangent here, I expect that the reaction is ever so slightly slower because it's only movement. This puts reacting to movement in the realms of very much possible for quite a few people. Why it still doesn't count as reactable is the fact that a simple feint to neutral is movement as well. You don't want to dodge needlessly as a defender. You open yourself up for punishment. Even dodge attacks have a high chance of being caught. Considering that the feint to guard break is the quick one on the stance, and that it's not one of the low guard break vulnerability dodge attacks like TND's Tiger Dodge, for example, you will most likely get grabbed. So dodging on movement is highly susceptible to being punished, in this case even with a guard break, and that means it's being punished for even more than if you ate the bash itself. It might work better if dodging away from a Valkyrie externally, but with the guard during dodge changes in mind, that might be coming eventually, this also gets punished. In summary, if you think somebody's dodging on reaction to your Shield Tackle, they most likely do it on movement. And just like any other neutral bash, if they dodge on movement, you can bait that out. Take advantage of that and punish them even harder. But do believe me, nobody is reacting to the full mix-up. Some might make better reads than others, but it will still be effective against them. And that's really it. Let me know if you still have any questions. Having said that, I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.